Alright, welcome back everybody to Fast Pace for Headspace, where we are going into our final run of the Sonic block here. We have TheSoundDefense going to be running Sonic 3 and Knuckles, all emeralds as Tails. So take it away.
Alright, thank you very much, Argic. Hello everyone. Everyone's this way. Hi, I am TheSoundDefense, and I am really looking forward to showing off this run today, because this is something I started doing a few months ago just as a change of pace, and it's become one of my favorite categories to run. And there's a lot of cool stuff here I think everyone will like. And I've also got two great commentators with me. On this side of me is Supersonic. Say hello, please.
Hello, my name is Supersonic. I also run this game, but as Sonic, of course.
Of course. Everyone prefers Sonic. And on this side, we have Final Flame.
Hi, you just saw me run Sonic 2 Master System. Believe it or not, I have actually speedrun Sonic 3 and Knuckles as well.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're here commentating. Alright then, so I think there is a donation incentive. Has that been met? I mean, it's not relevant until later, but just for out of sake of mentioning it again. How are we doing?
For your Doomsday Zone, it's met.
It is met? Excellent.
We will get some Doomsday Zone. The only incentive we have at the moment is the total nuclear annihilation reactor spatula percent, currently on $96.39 out of a total of $130. So we need around $34 more to go to get some spatula pinball action.
Okay. Alright, everyone, please donate for that, because I want to see what on earth spatula percent is supposed to be. Alright, so I think without further ado, we're ready to get started. So we'll count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, vámonos. Alright, so, thank you. So, this is an all emeralds run, which means we are going to be completing 14 special stages throughout the course of this run. No, Vine, why? And we're going to get our first one right over here. So, there are several things we need to know about the special stages. The first one is the blue sphere glitch. So, you know how you're supposed to go around the outside of these shapes here in order to turn all the spheres inside into rings? It turns out there is a bug in the algorithm that determines if you have actually made your way all the way around. And we can exploit this bug in order to make the game think that spheres on the outside of a shape are actually on the inside of a shape. And this allows us to take shortcuts and collect rings that we should not normally be able to collect. Here's a second example of it right here. I'm just gonna spiral around the left side, but for some reason everything becomes rings. And that's the first special stage right there. Ooh.
I blinked and I totally missed it.
I forgot to start my timer. That's okay. I will start my own personal timer. I'll retime this after the fact. If this even has a chance. It probably has no chance, because I have to compete with a perfect Lava Reef 2, and that's not going to work. Oh my god, Vine, stop
I
it!
had faith.
Why are Vines my mortal enemy today? What did I do? Okay, well.
It's like they know.
They know that this is a marathon, and they are out to get me. Yeah, this is one of the few normal levels we're going to be seeing in this run, so savor it while it lasts.
I would think the special stages would be done normally, but you do your best to make sure they are quite impressive.
I do my best. I have had some help on that front. So, basically, hold on, I'm gonna... Whatever, I just hold right for this boss. I don't need to focus on this. There we go. So, yeah, the special stages have been a lot of work to make them really interesting. I've been watching some TASes, and I got some help from another TASer named Jujamoy, who reached out to me and offered me faster and more interesting special stage routes. So, big shoutouts to Jujamoy for making this run super entertaining. Anyway, special stage 2. So, the second thing you need to know about special stages is we have these giant walls of red spheres that are supposed to act as walls and sort of stop you from going wherever you want, but they're not actually walls, and we sort of can go wherever we want to go. We just need to use some carefully timed jumps, and the world is our oyster. And if these make you nervous, I'm sorry, but they're not stopping anytime soon.
And it gets better from here, too.
It does. These are actually easier than you think. The red spheres, their hitboxes are unbelievably small. You can get just like all up in their faces and they still won't take you out of the stage if you jump at the right time. That's Emerald number 2. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of talking now because Angel Island is not a very focus-heavy stage, but later on I am going to have to explain a lot of things in a very short time, and then I think I'm going to have to lean on my commentators a lot more.
Yeah, we got you for those.
Cool, thank you. My spin dashes are still kind of slow. So as far as spin dashing goes, I've got a Genesis controller here, and I'm using 3 fingers to sort of roll my fingers on the buttons in order to get to max speed, but this is harder when your fingers are not warmed up because it's 9:30 in the morning, and so we're going to see just how well I can spin dash today. I think it's going to be interesting for everyone. Oh man. I did not jump at the right time right there. If I jump correctly, I can just rocket myself directly into the cave, which I don't think I've ever pulled off in a marathon before, but it looks very cool when it happens.
It does.
This right here is my favorite special stage, and it's going to be pretty clear why at around the halfway mark. But for now, we're seeing a lot of applications of the blue sphere glitch, and a lot of fun red sphere jumps. And I've gotten 1 frame save so far. There's a frame-perfect jump I can do to avoid collecting rings, and every ring I avoid collecting is 1 frame saved during the end of level countdown. And now I have to focus. Give me a second. Okay, we're done. That's never not going to be scary in a marathon setting.
I was holding my breath the entire time.
Same here.
Sorry, if you have heart conditions, maybe look away. Probably should have said that before, but oh well.
I mean, these special stages are very impressive to watch. Just from the movement of going backwards too. Like...
Yeah, that's it's very, very difficult to learn, but thankfully the timing of jumping over red spheres is forgiving enough that it's more doable than it seems. Yeah, it's still scary. Now I'm gonna lose this bubble shield. I don't like this bubble shield. It offends my eyes. Sorry, Tails. There we go. Actually, the bubble shield doesn't matter, but I did want to lose my rings, because I had too many rings. The way this game is timed, we stop the timer when the time bonus is counting down, but we don't stop it when the ring bonus is counting down, so I always want my ring bonus to be smaller than my time bonus at the end of the level. Okay, and I think I'm good on this boss. Yes, we're good here. Alright, and that is Angel Island. And my... oh yeah, my spin dashes are gonna be rough today. This is gonna be interesting for everyone.
A nice normal run of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yep.
No shenanigans.
And that's ending right now. Anyway, I just reset in order to skip a cutscene, because this game, the save file ticks over to the next stage as soon as the Act 2 score counter has finished counting down. So if I had reset too early, I would have had to go back to the start of Angel Island 1. And this is actually a very extremely important note that is going to come into play later, so we'll be bringing it up again. But for now, I'm just skirting over the top of Hydra City.
I love watching that, but I don't actually know what's going on there.
Basically, like, I managed to jump down, and I hit a capsule and a spring at the same time, so I get enormous speed in both the horizontal and vertical directions. Then I just go above the stage. Oh, and I got the music glitch, too. if the invincibility ends during the countdown music thing, the music resets and it turns back to the level music, which is a sign that I did the level well. Anyway, now I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna break everything.
Yeah, be careful of this wall. It's very deadly.
Oh shoot! Oh wait, this is not working. Oh.
Tails, you were supposed to go the other way.
Oh man.
Oh no, what have you done?
Okay, well let's just try it again, I guess.
It's actually intended.
Yeah, I have to. I'll explain in a second. But
this part is not intended.
Basically, I have to take a death there to realign the actual and playable level boundaries to make a level wrap possible. Okay, I got my 3 hits. Gotta line myself up right. And that's Robotnik done quick. I really should not have gone for 3 hits when I had no rings. That could have been a disaster.
You had it all along.
You can say that now after the fact.
Yes.
So what happened there exactly is like the reason why he took an intentional death is because he wanted to deload Act 1 from Act 2 since they are connected together. So if he went for the level wrap at that moment, it would have soft locked Tails if he kept Act 1 on there, which is why he had to take that intentional death.
Right.
It's kind of interesting how the whole level wrap mechanic works.
Yeah, it's like, basically your horizontal position is stored as a number that can never be negative, and so when my horizontal position tries to go below 0, it instead gets set to an extremely high number, which, in short, puts me at the end of the stage. There's more to it than that, but I can only do so much talking while doing a special stage.
Yeah.
This one's actually not too bad.
Special stage number 4.
Yep. The Emerald route is different for Tails and Sonic. I'm gonna get 2 emeralds here in Marble Garden, and then I'm gonna get tired of Marble Garden and I'll just go to the end of it. Well, not... Okay. Oof. There we go. I just collected 34 spheres at once.
34 spheres by visually collecting, what, 11?
Yes. That's just the ultimate application of the blue sphere glitch. The game just sweeps out, grabs every sphere it can see, and turns them into rings. Oh. There we go. I almost destroyed that enemy, which would have prevented me from being able to do that super fly. Now I'm going to do a magic trick. I'm going to jump right on a red sphere and take no damage. I'm David Copperfield. Yeah, that looks impossible, but it turns out that there's like a turning radius and a hit box on these red spheres, and the turning radius is slightly larger, so there is a very precise area where I can jump onto the red sphere, turn, and jump again without actually taking damage. I actually lose a half second doing that, but it's worth it because it's cool.
Sounds good to me.
And that's emerald number 5. So, we're not going to collect any more emeralds until Ice Cap. Now we're going to glitch our way through the rest of Marble Garden. Well, not all the way through. We have to... Unlike Sonic, we do have to stop and fight the mini-boss of Marble Garden. If you try Sonic's skip as Tails, it just immediately soft locks. The thing about Tails is that his sprite is slightly shorter than Sonic's, and you'd think it wouldn't make a difference, but it changes absolutely everything about glitching your way through this game. So, some tricks that work as Sonic no longer work as Tails, some tricks that don't work as Sonic do work as Tails. It very much changes how the speedrun works. I'm gonna take some damage here. There we go, damage boosting for fun and profit. That's Act 1, and we're not going to see very much of Act 2. Oh, nope, grab it, okay. So let's see, I'm gonna do a quick super fly here. I'm gonna get myself spin dashing on these slopes. Then I'm gonna hop into here and do a level wrap. And we're just gonna head to the end of the stage, and we're gonna fight a boss. Except we're not gonna fight the right boss. We're gonna fight the wrong boss. We're gonna fight Knuckles' boss. And hopefully if I do this right, I can finish it off in 2 seconds. So far so good. This next hit is what's gonna decide this whole boss fight. Okay, I think we got it. Yes, excellent. 51 seconds.
Very nice.
Is a really good time for Marble 2.
May I jump in quickly?
Yes.
We have a $50 donation from the Computer Geek 2, who says, a charity event hosted here is most certain to be a good cause. Always aware of mental health here. And with that, we have met the incentive for the spatula percent for total nuclear annihilation.
Sweet. Thank you so much, the Computer Geek 2. I'd say more, but I have to break the game again. Can somebody else handle this real quick?
All right, so what he's going for here is a quirk called Wheel Glitch. So you can kind of see that his gravity's all screwed up right now, and he's kind of floating over to the left here, initiating a level wrap. And with this level wrap, he's going to the mini boss, but he's going to be sideways for most of this. Well, not most of it, but for some of it, because he's going to have to get on the spinning top that this boss drops down. And he's going to need this wheel glitch to carry over to Act 2.
It's important to note that if he were to jump right now, he would lose the effects of this glitch. So he has to do this without jumping, which is kind of hard when you're meant to jump into this boss. So instead, we're bouncing on the boss.
Please don't give me the death pattern. Okay, that was very close. Okay, so mini boss is down. Didn't get the sub one. Oh, that's right. I was going to do a thing. For every 50,000 point time bonus that I get, I'm going to donate $5. So
Wow.
Oh.
I had
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4 so far. That's $20 so far.
Awesome.
And
Right, so he still has wheel glitch intact here. The only reason he was able to jump off that cylinder is because it's considered an object rather than solid ground. So it doesn't completely take away the slope glitch. Or the wheel glitch, sorry.
then I just fly into the magic spot and I get sucked into the ceiling. And then I'll explain more about this in a second. 4, 5, 6, 7. So in a normal run, I would be able to go all the way through the ceiling, but you cannot do that in an all emeralds run because the memory is laid out differently because we enter and exit special stages. So instead, I have to drop down into that tunnel and then come back up to fight this boss. But it actually works out because then I can just drop down on Robotnik from above, and it's a very easy boss fight. If you don't do that, this boss fight as Tails is a nightmare. And that is my 5th 50,000 time bonus, so that's $25 so far. And now we're going to Ice Cap, and we have 2 more emeralds to collect. Usually I would sing along here for the snowboarding section, but there is no snowboarding section. Tails is not tall enough to rent a snowboard. Very unfortunate.
I'm going to think that every time now. Thanks.
I've given you brainworms. Like an earworm, but it's in your brain.
You have to be yay high to snowboard.
I mean, that's a thing. I think that's a thing. Tails is shorter, we've already established that. Anyway, this special stage route is thankfully very chill. I just have to remember the route. There's no tricky jumps involved. But for the person who created this route, apparently finding the fastest way through was extremely difficult, because this is such an open-ended stage. So, once again, props to Jujamoy for coming up with this route. Then we have one more very quick special stage, and then I'm tired of Ice Cap. So we're gonna skip it. This is a running theme here. You're not going to see very much of any of these stages. At least not until I get... we're going to see some of them played normally. Alright, that's 6 emeralds. Oh, sorry, Nixon-esque. I am not TGH.
Well, thankfully, the next special stage is basically right below.
Yep. No time at all. Oop. Oh no, I missed the jump. Well, that's a small time loss. There we go. It's no big deal. The special stage... I hate playing this special stage casually. I always get lost. I can't find the last few spheres. If I'm not speedrunning it, I'm just...
I don't know how many of these I've actually ever completed casually.
Really?
Really?
It's been a couple years since I've done an all emeralds run, but
I cannot remember the last time I played this game casually without collecting the emeralds. By the way, ignore the incredibly scary jumps I just did there.
totally missed them.
When you are jumping over a red sphere followed by a bumper, you have to get just incredibly close to that red sphere, and it's always scary. Anyway, so now we have all 7 Chaos Emeralds, which are useless because we can't go Super Tails yet. No, to skip... No! Oh, that almost didn't work out. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad.
I
Well,
don't think I've seen that one before.
that was just me. I was not able to manage my speed correctly because the jump didn't work the way I wanted it to. Oh, this is bad. Well, this is almost certainly not going to PB now, but oh well. My goal for this was sub-hour, and my estimate was, like, in case of disaster estimate. And right here, I actually have to jump back into the Emerald Cave to make sure this glitch will work. So it's not great that I missed that jump a second time. Okay, now we're looking better. Oh, come on! What now? Oh, man. I don't know why this is going so badly right now.
It's ice
Game
cap.
knows.
It is Ice
Yeah.
Cap. This is how Ice Cap goes sometimes. Like, this is... I'm sure this looks like a very difficult trick, and it is. You really have to manage your speed, your positioning, your button presses very carefully in order to skip this level. But once I pull this off, the effect is very cool. Oh, what? Okay, I'm cursed, clearly. I woke up cursed. I ate a bowl of curse for breakfast. Okay, let's try this again. I don't believe this. Whatever. I'm just rolling in the Sonic route, you know. Okay, so we're not gonna get a boss skip, but we are gonna skip most of the level. And at this point, that's good enough for me.
Interesting to note, we're in the Act 2 stage, but we're technically still in Act 1.
That is correct.
Yes.
Oh boy, this boss fight is also going poorly. I am not at all used to fighting this boss at Tails. Usually, what happens is I can wrap myself all the way around the level and navigate myself into the loading zone for launch base and just skip the boss and the score screen entirely. The game was not cooperative today, unfortunately.
So as you saw there, he did enter Ice Cap Act 2, but the timer didn't even tick over a second. So in this instance, even though he is in launch base currently, the file is still going to remain on Ice Cap because the Act 2 timer didn't count down for the time bonus.
So if I were... Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I were to reset here, I would go back to ice cap, not to launch base. So resetting is verboten. Now to fight the launch base boss, except not down here. We're fighting this boss on my turf. You two get up here. This is Goku leading Vegeta to the site of their battle. Now I am going to destroy one of these two bosses and leave the other one alive.
So something of note here, this is not the normal boss we would be fighting. This is Knuckles' boss, correct?
That's correct. Knuckles has to
normally
fight.
you would normally you would only have one of these bosses, which is why it's looking a little glitchy. And we're going to utilize this double boss to our advantage here. There's a reason we left the one alive.
And there we go. Launch Base 2 is beaten in literally no time at all. And that's another 50,000. That's 6 of them now, I think. So yeah, we left the second boss alive on purpose, and then we defeated it once Act 2 started, and the game says, oh, you beat a boss in Act 2, I guess Act 2 is over. And now I reset because the Act 2 score counter finished counting down, my save file has ticked over, and now I'm in Mushroom Hill. And now we're gonna get more special stages, and we're gonna start with the hardest special stage in the game, both casually and from a speedrun perspective.
Yep, shifting over from Sonic 3 to the Sonic and Knuckles half, and now we're gonna be introduced to the Super Emeralds.
If I was playing as Sonic or Knuckles, this would be the point where I can no longer go Super Sonic or Super Knuckles, but for Tails, he's not tall enough to use the 7 Chaos Emeralds, so he has to get all 14 Emeralds instead. Okay, and now this is the hardest special stage in the game. There's very few parts of this that are not scary. So let's all just take it in for a moment while I finish off this stage. Let's just jam. Okay, here's the hard part. Oh my god, I took one of those jumps not at all at the right time. That was terrifying.
You got through, nice.
Believe it or not, that was the easier marathon safe route that I just took. There is another version of this that is just way too precise for a marathon. I have to make 3 very difficult jumps, and across all 3 jumps, I can lose a maximum of 3 frames. If I lose more than 3 frames across all 3 jumps combined, I lose. And that was not acceptable for a marathon.
Yeah, the crazy part about these strats you're doing is, sure, they look cool, but it's more than that. Those are the fastest ways you can do that, correct?
Yes, these are actual time-saving strats. In some cases, the time saved is little more than a second or two. But across the entire run, compared to normal special stage strats, it saves about 45 seconds, which is a very large amount of time. How much time does it save to go backwards? On that special stage, I don't know. Probably a couple of seconds. On the third special stage, it saves roughly 1 second. The thing about going backwards is you want to minimize the number of turns you make, because turning is a very slow process. You have to stop dead and do this slow animation, and the fewer turns we can do, the better off we are. So, like, turn management is a big part of routing these special stages. Now, this special stage here is not as difficult as it looks. It's just very bizarre and fun looking. And I'm doing it suboptimally because the actual optimal strat is very scary, and I don't have any good cues for it yet.
Still a very solid stage. Especially when all the blue spheres are in line for just to collect them.
Yeah, it works out really nicely. HUD's in chat. That was the marathon safe strat? Yes, it was. If you turn on my stream on a Saturday afternoon, you will see the marathon unsafe strat. So this special stage here is an objectively chill one. It's not that hard, and it doesn't look that hard. So, I don't know, do we have any more donations? It's been a while.
We do not have any at the moment, but we do have something that may tickle your fancy now as well, because what we have added, we have a new target incentive to hit. Later on this evening, we are going to have an East Memories of Celceta run, and the incentive for that is to do a blindfolded New Game Plus showcase. So if you want to see some blindfolded speedrunning, then we have that available as the next incentive.
Oh, very cool. My fancy has been tickled. Please donate for that.
It is currently set at $250 and has been opened, so please do keep your donations coming in.
All right,
How are we looking on Wipeout?
On Wipeout right now, we currently have the ship manufacturers. We still have Oricom winning with $245, but Piranha is coming up with $120.78. However, we do have T-Rex, AG Systems, and Pizar all have the chance to come up as well.
All right, it's an exciting bid war. So next up is the shortest special stage in the game, and another one of my favorites. If I do this right, I will collect the last sphere before the music speeds up. If I do this wrong, there will be crying and wailing in the streets. So let's hope for the best. One more set of jumps here. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I jump that way? It worked out, but why did I do that? Okay. So I'm making
like
this
casual stroll.
I'm making this unnecessarily difficult for myself. Right.
That's usually how it goes.
So one thing I want to point out is, you know, the piano roll method of spin dashing that I mentioned earlier? I also do that for some of the special stage jumps. I'm trying to get Sonic to jump as soon as possible in certain points. And so if I just drum my fingers along the buttons, I get more chances at hitting the frame that I want to hit. And some of these tricks really would not be feasible without doing that. Now this mini-boss that I hate. It's not that hard, so why am I so bad at it? Look at this! Why am I bad at this?
It's just an annoying boss fight in general.
He chopped down 3 segments of tree. I'm a monster. Everyone, please save the forests. Alright. I really need to practice that boss, especially as Tails. So now, Mushroom Hill 2. We're gonna get the final 3 emeralds here. I still need to do some speedrun science and see if this is the fastest emerald route for Tails. It is the fastest emerald route for Sonic. I figured that out a few months back, but Tails has some more options as to where he can pick up his rings, his giant rings. So I'm going to be working on that a little later, and maybe in a future run you're going to see a totally different route. Here we have another fun and nope. Tricky special stage. Nah, I was not able to get either of those jumps. Basically, if you want to jump over 2 rings and collect neither one of them, it's a frame-perfect jump. If you get it right, it saves 1 frame. So, my old joke was that it was the least worth it trick in the history of speedrunning. But, in my last record for Sonic All Emeralds, I got 2 of those to save 2 frames. And in that run, I got the sub 54 by exactly 1 frame. So it actually made a big difference.
Wow.
Yeah, I am never taking those frames for granted again.
I remember being there for that, and we were just trying to figure out the whole retiming method for it, because there was like that little bit of glimmer of Sonic's, like his what do you call it?
His life icon?
Yeah, it was like you see it lit, but then the screen's fading out.
Yeah, that was
The exact timing.
that was an interesting thing. With that run, normally what happens to figure out when a run ends, they look at the moment where the life icon fades completely to white, and that's the moment where the run ends. But if you are in the Doomsday Zone as Hypersonic, it is not fixed when that icon fades. You can be waiting up to an extra second for that icon to fade. And so they had to figure out a new timing method specifically for all emeralds. And after they went through that timing method and retimed that run, it was a 53:59.983.
Wow.
That was a very long and torturous week for me. Just waiting for the results of that. Anyway, this special stage is pretty straightforward, except for the very end, where I'm going to make it harder on myself, because of course I will. Instead of hitting the yellow sphere like a normal person, I'm going to make those jumps. Save a small amount of time.
I never liked that special stage when I was a kid playing it casually.
I hear
I would
that.
always screw up somewhere.
I hear that a lot, and I have to say, if you're trying to get perfects on that stage, it's incredibly difficult. You have to jump at a really specific time to get out of those bumper cages. Anyway, we got one last emerald. It's going to be right at the end of Mushroom Hill. And so something I did not bring up before is the order in which I'm doing these super emeralds. For the most part, the order does not matter. The only thing that matters is that I have to get the center emerald last. That is because once I get all 7 emeralds, there is going to be a small cutscene that plays where the Master Emerald activates. And if the camera is not in the center of the screen, it's going to slowly pan over to the center of the screen. And you can lose up to 4 seconds just waiting for that pan. So we always finish up with this emerald so we can avoid that camera pan. In the meantime, this route is very specifically routed to make sure that I can do these pinpoint turns after getting out of those little 2x2s. And there we go. That is the final special stage of the run. We have all 14 emeralds, and now finally Tails can go Super Tails. And he's going to right now. Someone in chat says, it feels cursed not seeing the spheres turn into rings in special stages. Yes, I can see how that would be very unsatisfying. Problem is, it's just not fast. So, doesn't work out. And we got normal flickies today. Sometimes the flickies will be weird glitched blobs, looking sort of like Meat Boy. I don't know what controls this. These birds, they're a bit of a help and they're a bit of a hindrance. Right here they're a help because they get these attacks in on this boss. In other places they're a hindrance because they try to kill me.
Kind of like a double-edged sword when you turn super for Tails.
It is, yes. Especially in Lava Reef. I'm going to be yelling at the birds in Lava Reef, maybe. Okay, now for Flying Battery, and what's probably a lot of people's favorite glitch. But unfortunately, I'm going to be doing this stage as intended. Sorry to disappoint. And there we go. Just as intended.
As intended, by design, and intended. As I like to say it.
Mm-hmm. Oh no! That absolutely was not as intended.
Uh-oh.
I did not come to a complete stop before jumping, and so I ruined everything. Now I have to do it again. I think this is a good position.
At least this is one of the stages where you can reset on.
Yeah, if this were a launch base, I would just be up a creek without a paddle. So it's only like 30 seconds lost, not a huge deal. I mean, it's a blow to morale, but I can still get the sub 1. I think I'm pretty comfortable right now for the sub 1, so long as nothing else goes wrong. Knock on wood. Anyway, we have this boss. Argic, do you remember what this boss is named?
Do I remember the boss's name? Not at all.
Okay, so maybe it's someone else who refers to this boss as Mr. Tickles. I thought it was Argic.
It is not me. I generally go with this is why you hitting yourself, the boss.
Oh, that's right.
Who called it Mr. Tickles? Was it Joey?
It might have been Joey.
Might have been Joey.
Speak up in chat if you know who that was. Anyway, that is my 7th 50,000 time bonus. And now...
You're now just standing on air.
And now for a...
RPG, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
RPG hidden wizard.
Okay, so now for one of the scarier tricks in the run. This could be a disaster. Okay, well... alright, so I need to try and glue myself to the wall here. It is so hard to reset this trick if I don't get it the first time around. If I can't do this in a reasonable amount of time, I'm just gonna go top route instead. What arcane forces govern this trick? Forget it. I'm going top route. Man, the bottom route would have been super cool, but it's so hard to reset myself when that goes wrong. Alright, so I have to settle for this, which isn't cool at all. Perfectly normal route. I have to manage my speed really carefully here, because if I'm going too fast, I will rocket into the ground and probably die instantly. So there we go. Now we just...
This stage looks normal.
Yeah. I mean, this is this not how the boss looks normally? Oh, I'm leaving space. Come back, space. So yeah, what I wanted to do was glitch myself into the lower half of the level, and then I would activate the moving screen early, and then sort of be chased by it all the way up, which would save a lot of time. Unfortunately, the game is not cooperative today, so I have to settle for top route. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there we go. There's that boss fight now. Astral Storm says, one-leg dancing tails. Yes, I had slope glitch right there. For basically, the way I jumped and landed after that mini-boss gave me slope glitch, which allows me to do the all sorts of weird things that you saw in the second half of that stage. Now for Sandopolis Zone. A zone we're not going to see. Mr. Sir, what is it? Sir not appearing in this game is what it is. Goodbye. And we're done.
That looks like something you could accidentally do casually, just goofing around.
You probably could. You fly up while holding left and just hit that one seam, and then you hit right just at the top, and Tails just rockets off to the left. Normally, I can explain why these glitches work. I don't know why that works.
I imagine something to do with the solidity of those blocks, but beyond that, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. If it were Sonic's glitch, I could tell you how that works, because slopes are incredibly busted in this game. Ori Sky says Sandnopolis. I would also accept the Sando Zero as a tribute to HUDs.
I approve of that.
So anyway, we're just waiting for this boss right here.
Yeah, this guy is not really a threat. You just gotta pretty much throw him into quicksand and you're done.
I think I'm gonna hit the capsule. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, for some... Why is there even a capsule there? Who in their right mind would end up here after defeating that boss?
Apparently you. They planned it for this.
I walked into that one, didn't I? Alright, so Sando 2 is not as broken as it is with Sonic because I don't know how to do loop clip as Tails because it's a lot harder. But we are still going to break this stage good and proper. Starting with right here. I'm going to do a quick vertical wrap and make the sprite objects disappear so I can just waltz through that door. Next.
Yeah, some vertical wraps are doable because of the way the stages are designed. Some of them are infinitely vertical, so you will see SoundDefense utilize the crouching, and then he'll just jump at the frame that he lets go of crouch, and it's gonna pretty much wig out the vertical momentum, and he's able to traverse through like other various parts of the level, and even go through like objects that are not completely loaded.
Yeah, the thing about this game is that if a sprite object is not on camera, the game considers it to not exist to save memory. So, if we can make an object go off camera, we can walk right through it. And that's the basis of the vertical wrap. Tails is not actually moving, we're just moving the camera to make objects go away. Also, I lost my rings on purpose because I do not want to go Super Tails here. Because of the birds. They will hit the sand, and if the sand gets hit and starts coming down, I cannot do this upcoming trick. And here's another vertical wrap. I am going to make this rising platform on the right disappear. And then when it appears again, it's going to push me into the wall. And then I zip my way through a large section of this pyramid. And that's a lot of Sando skipped right there. Then I'm going to climb up this waterfall, which saves a bit more time, and it's also a setup for a very amusing glitch that's going to happen at the end of the stage if I continue to set everything up correctly. I just need to make sure I don't go too high. If I travel too high in this stage, it will undo the glitch I'm trying to do. So just be careful. Okay, I think I've got it. We're gonna find out in a second. And I got it. So, the boss just doesn't start. The boss forgot to be a boss, and the ghosts forgot to go away, and the background is completely messed up.
It's absolutely glorious.
You haven't seen this one?
I have not seen that until today.
Well, you can only do it as Tails or as Sonic in an All Emeralds run because it requires a very specific route Sonic can't pull off on his own. I like to call that the Blood Ghosts glitch because the ghosts get this weird red outline. Other people call it a Sando Boo. There's a FFZ icon for it now, Sando Boo. Turn myself up. Go. Yeah, Soccer Man's got it. The Lava Reef one, there is a skip for this. I don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to do it. We're just going to play this level normally. Let's see, any other donations while we're here? Actually, no, don't answer that yet. Give me 1 second to show off something interesting. Ow. Up here, for some reason, we have double rings. Each of these rings counts for 2 rings. I don't know why. But that gives us just enough rings to go Super Tails. And I'm going to be Super Tails for the rest of the run. Not for the rest of the run, for the rest of this act. Anyway, sorry, are there any other... Yeah, I found that randomly the other day. And by the other day, I mean like 2 months ago. I don't know why that's a thing. Just bad object placement, I guess. Anyway, sorry about that. Are there any donations?
Literally, as you were going through there, yes, we have a $5 anonymous donation coming in with no message there. Thank you very much for your donations. That puts us up to a grand total of $1,706.08. cents. Please do keep your donations coming in. We do have the Wipeout Omega Collection Ship Manufacturer Poll, as well as the East Memories of Celceta Blindfolded New Game Plus Showcase still going ahead here. We will have other incentives opening up as well. So just keep an eye out for when they happen and enjoy the event.
Alright, thank you. So now I get to fight this mini-boss, and this is where the birds really come into their own and just do my bidding for me. Now that they've helped me, they're going to try and kill me by making me phase through this boss if I time my jumps incorrectly. And Super Tails can get squished by this boss, so I have to be careful here. Ah, I screwed up. Alright, so I'm getting a 3 cycle. 4, 5. Now I'm gonna try a very tricky trick. See if I can pull this off. Nope. That's really hard. I was trying to get underneath the monitor and force myself into the ground, but even as Tails, that is not at all easy to do. So I just lost a minute instantly because I didn't get that one trick. Speedrunning is really hard, guys.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the big run killers for pretty much, I would say, like, for both Sonic and Tails.
Oh yeah, for Sonic definitely. For Sonic it's even worse. It's multiple frame perfect inputs involved. For Tails, it's one 3-frame window that you have to hit. And I did not hit it. Anyway, that's one of the hardest tricks in this game. The actual hardest trick in this game is also in this stage. Lava Reef 2 is just an enormous wall as Tails. So this next trick, not the next trick, but the upcoming boss skip, is a trick that I could and have lost between 5 to 10 minutes on in certain speedruns. So I'm going to be trying it for 1 minute, and if I can't get it, I'm just going to forget it and fight the boss. And also, this is the one trick where my spin dashes really have to be on point, and they have not been on point today. So we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to go up towards where Knuckles is, and then right down here. Instead, I am going to position myself carefully right here. And I am going to try and do a series of spin dashes, force myself... Wow, okay, never mind, that was second try.
Let's go.
It figures this would happen when the run was already dead. But, boy, I am glad I pulled that off in a marathon, because that's not a given.
We pretty much skipped like a really big auto-scroller of a boss.
Yes, that is a full 2-minute save right there. I'm really glad I got that, because if I had to retreat and fight the boss, it would have been very embarrassing. Now I think a sub-hour is within reach for this run.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. And he's done.
As we saw earlier in the Sonic Adventure DX race.
Whoops, I accidentally flew. I meant to spin dash, but I flew instead. Here's the thing about flying as Tails. It's incredibly slow, and you should never do it if you don't have to. Only when necessary in order to make the run faster, which is not that often. Alright, F's in chat for Knuckles. And now we're gonna see how many of these slinkies I can pull off. That's not one. One. Alright, I will take a double slinky, happily. So I do not think there are any more 50,000 point bonuses available to me at this point. Unless an absolute miracle happens here in Sky Sanctuary. Looks like the final number is going to be 7. In the meantime, did you know Knuckles has 3 tails? You can't see them often, but you can see them right here.
Oh yeah, he secretly grew a couple of tails there.
Was that an exasperated sigh from somebody?
No idea what you're talking about.
Anyway, now I'm coming up on the easiest trick in the game. You can do this at home. So do a vertical wrap, jump and hold right, and then just fly in midair to come to a soft landing, and you have skipped like 2/3 of Sky Sanctuary.
You can even do that as Sonic with a lightning shield instead of flying.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's... When I say easy, I mean like not easy from a speedrun perspective, easy from like an absolute perspective. That's doable with very little practice. And thank you Mecha Sonic for cooperating. This could have been a sub 1 had I not missed the teleporter. But oh well, so the final number is going to be 7. So I owe $35. We're going to skip one last cutscene and then enter the final stage of the run proper. Then afterwards, we're going to get a quick look at the Doomsday Zone as Sonic. For some reason, yes, it is exciting. It is a nice way to, it's a nice fun way to end the stage, to end the run as Sonic. For some reason, Tails doesn't get to do it. Tails is too short to go to space.
Seems to be you need to be yay high to do a lot of things with Tails.
It's really unfortunate. Tails is in need of a growth spurt badly.
But the biggest trade-off is he has flight, so Sonic
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah, so... I was going to follow up with something witty, but I couldn't think of anything. So instead, I'm just going to go into the Graviton. This goes well. I'm just going to get 6 quick hits, and then we're going to be out of here. I am 1 ring short of going Super Tails. I think I'm going to pick it up right here. Yes. So in a second, we're going to go Super Tails. We don't need to go Super Tails for any particular movement, but it is going to make the boss a good deal simpler. In a normal run, this boss is one of the worst in the game. But for me, I don't even have to touch the controller if I line myself up right. Just have to position... Oops, that was not correct positioning. Now I have to press buttons. Thankfully, the birds are here to step in and get extra hits. So yep, if you ever struggled against Red Eye, feel free to be jealous right about now. Finally, we have Death Egg 2. There is a way to skip this stage as Tails. It's very hard, I only know like half the trick. So we're just gonna play this stage normally, up until the final boss. Why did I fall there? That was strange.
Strange things happen in Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
They do. Strange things always happen. There's... Like, we had our never happened before moment earlier today when I had that mysterious death in Ice Cap. I have died many times in Ice Cap, but never right where I did today.
Game that keeps on giving.
It really is. It's just like Sonic 06 in that regard, which also keeps on giving. But yeah, for now, any donations or incentives we want to discuss?
Oh, we always want to discuss our incentives and that we want to go through, but I believe we have a donation coming in here. $5 donation from Knuckles, who says, knock knock.
Who's there? Oh, is that it?
Yeah, just knock knock.
Okay.
I mean, is it at the door there? Knock knock, it's Knuckles.
Okay.
Could have just left you hanging that one, I'm sorry.
Alright, thank you for not leaving me hanging. Yeah, not much happening here. Just some nice quick movement through this stage. Get a couple of slope jumps here. Man,
No lie, I pretty much forgot how Death Egg 2 looked.
It's the only way I know how to do it.
Yeah, as Sonic, there is a very tricky skip that you can do, but with practice it gets easier. With Tails, I was always able to get to like the very last step of the skip, but then I just could not get the final jump wherever it has to happen. So now we're fighting this boss, and the birds are they are trying their best right now. They are working so hard. Please give a cheer in chat for these birds who are doing their best.
Yeah, it's like the shield on the Ulu boss. For some reason, it just triggers the birds to just go after it, and it really doesn't it doesn't do anything. It just kind of bounces them right off.
Yeah, it is very funny though.
Yeah, that's the boss right there.
Anyway, time for one last glitch. I'm gonna glitch out the final boss. So, by spin dashing in the way I did, I forced the game to shift where the floor is. So, over on the right, the floor looks solid, but there's actually a death pit there. So why would I do this? It will become clear shortly. Don't go too far. I hate this.
Oh boy.
When that strat doesn't go well, it's always a little scary. But anyway, now I have set up the floor so I can just lay waste to this phase of the boss just by spin dashing. And that's that phase done quick. Now I have... Time is coming up. When the screen fades to white, that is when the time will be called. Oh my gosh, no. 6, 7, and 8. And... time.
GG.
GG.
There we go, and the Master Emerald comes safely home with us. Do we have a final... Oh no, I'm looking at the stream and I can see I did not cut the sub hour, I just barely missed it. So that was 1 hour and 8 seconds. Oh well, still below my estimate.
Well, I guess if you factor in RTA minus TB, it could still be a sub hour.
Oh, it will be sub hour if I retime this with the proper timing method. Like I said, our timing method that we use is RTA minus TB, which is real time, but we stop the timer when a time bonus is counting down. Because basically, we could get in a situation where we would intentionally have to slow Sonic down to avoid a 50,000 point time bonus, which takes like 10 seconds to count down, and we all decided that was silly and we shouldn't do it, so we don't. So that's the compromise we came to. We also can't use in-game time because there are way too many points in the game where the timer is not counting down, but you're still actually playing the game. For example, the final 8 hits against Robotnik, the timer is stopped that whole time. So in-game time is not sufficient. But yeah, that was Sonic 3 and Knuckles, all emeralds as Tails. And I believe I am obligated to one more stage before we are done. So, let's go ahead and do that real quick. Do we set a timer up for this, or should I just go for it? Is it worth a timer for 2 minutes of gameplay?
They just go for it, maybe.
I'd say just go for it.
Alright, we're gonna go to the Doomsday Zone as Sonic. So, with this special stage, this is not a special stage, with this final stage, the positioning of Sonic is very important at the start, because I have to collect a lot of rings very fast, which means I have to know where all of these rings are. 83 rings is a really large amount they have right here, so we're good. I'm just going to collect a few more, but in the meantime I'm just going to skirt the top and bottom of this stage to avoid the obstacles. In the meantime, this is something that comes up every time, because I bring it up every time, but you can press the A button in this stage and Sonic will dash forward, or in whatever direction you're holding. And I did not know this for like 25 years, until I started speedrunning this game. It is possible to beat the game without dashing, It's just, it takes forever, as I found out when I was a kid. So for now, we have to hit Robotnik's face with 8 of these missiles while these bullets are shooting at us. And so I am manipulating Sonic's movement to get these missiles into Robotnik's face close to as fast as possible. As fast as possible while still being safe. So that's 8 hits there. The boss is going down, but we still have one more boss we're going to fight, and one more very small time save I'm going to pull off. 1, 2, collecting a few more rings. Now I have all the rings I need. 3, 4. I'm going to position myself in a very particular place for the final hit. 6, 7. We're going to go down and come up from below. And doing that will shorten the cutscene of Sonic grabbing the emerald. So the boss gets into position faster and you save time. Because the timer doesn't stop until the screen goes white. So that's a small time save. It's the very last trick in Sonic's run. And that is the Doomsday Zone. Now you have seen all of the stages.
GG's.
Hey, thank you.
Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you, everyone,
No,
for the GGs.
And thank you for doing the run. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/TheSoundDefense. I tend to stream on the weekends. Saturdays is this. Sundays is whatever I feel like. Some days I'm playing Sonic 06. Some days I'm doing the Sonic Shuffler, where I change games every time I get a ring. Some days I'm just building Legos on stream. So if you want a chill, fun time, come and watch me, please. And what about our commentators?
So both each up at once.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Supersonic to go. You go first.
Oh, okay. Well, you can find me at twitch.tv/supersonic_. I will be doing a run in about 3 hours from now. I'll be running Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, which is not a Sonic game, but it is a Mario game. So that's coming up pretty soon. And I normally speedrun Sonic games. I've been on the grind for Sonic 1 glitchless currently, trying to get the first sub 14 in-game time. And sometimes I'll do like other things here and there, like other retro style games. So that's pretty much me.
Didn't you recently get the Sonic 1 glitchless world record? I heard that from a little bird.
I did, yes. I got it about a couple weeks ago.
Awesome, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And Final Flame, where can they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/FinalFlame, where when I do stream, it's typically classic Sonic or a couple other variety speedruns I've been trying to do lately.
And there we go. That is it. That is the end of the Sonic block for this marathon. Big thank you to everybody watching and donating, and of course to our runners and commentators. We are now going to switch up to something very, very special, in my opinion. You're very much excited for this. We are going to switch over to the total nuclear annihilation, which is some pinball, and we do have spatula percent being met. We're going to go take some time to get set up. This is the end of my hosting shift as well, but I may be back later on taking over now. It is the one, the only. It is Amber Cyprin. So we will see you all next time.